if you are scrolling through LinkedIn these days, you'll understand what I'm going to say. There is one term which almost everyone is using in their posts, but none of them is explaining what it means and how can you work on it. And that term is profile building. Hi everyone, I am Shivani Saxena and welcome to my channel S for Shivani, a one-stop destination for all your MBA needs. For those of you who do not know, I have been making videos on everything that you need for your MBA and college life. So I have been covering the summer internships, the placements, current affairs, GDPI preparation, resume making, and even the competitions. In today's video, I will be covering how you can work on creating an impressive profile so as to increase your chances of getting a shortlist for a job or for a college admission. But before we move ahead, I request you to please like this video and subscribe to the channel because it gives me motivation to make more videos. So like I said, in this video, I will be covering what is meant by profile building, why is it important, when does profile building prove useful, sources of showcasing your personal brand. So basically, what are the venues wherein you can showcase your profile? How can you build an impressive profile, which is the most important part of this video. I will be using examples from my own experience throughout, and for all those who are watching the video till the end, there will be bonus tips. Starting with, what is profile building? So it basically answers a simple question. Who are you beyond your academic performance? So if I remove your good scores or bad scores from your resume, whatever remains, that is your profile. So it's a sum total of your achievements, your skills, your experiences in the past, plus there is one more thing which I call the X factor, which I will be telling you about towards the end of the video. Now let me give you two scenarios. There are two candidates, candidate A who has a following profile, and there is candidate B. Now you tell me who is more likely to be selected for, let's say, the college or the interview the person is appearing for. Obviously, the answer is candidate B. I'm not saying that the person was experienced or a fresher and that played any role in diversifying, but you just imagine, let's say if a company is hiring a candidate, and if in the interview you are able to answer your academic questions because you're good at acads, but you have zero clue about what is happening around you in the world, you're not able to answer the current affairs questions. Similarly, another scenario, a college is interviewing candidates for MBA admissions, let's say, and now the college obviously wants a diversified portfolio or pedigree of students, because otherwise, if let's say everybody is a nerd, then who will participate in college events, who will organize these events, who will have a dramatic society or a singing society, and all these kinds of things. So with this perspective, people like to have an overview as to what are you apart from your marks. And hence, it is very important to work on profile building, because you are applying for a job, your profile will help you get that job. And if you're applying for MBA admissions or internship interviews or college placements, even for scholarships. So if I tell you about my case, I'm a gold medalist from Symbiosis International University, which means all the colleges gave names for the top students, and then out of those students from different colleges in SIU, I won the scholarship. And in that, if I tell you, all the questions that I was asked in the interview were about what I did during the 2 years of my MBA. So profile building doesn't end as soon as you get a job or as soon as you get the college you wanted. You have to continue working on your profile throughout. And if you're applying for promotions, then also people like to know what more you have been doing to upskill yourself. And profile building also helps you safeguard your position in the company in case there is a layoff happening. Now, where can you showcase your profile? The number one venue is your resume. So there is a particular format in which people make resume. In that, you have to elaborate what are the things that you have done, Second venue where you can show your profile is LinkedIn, which is again kind of like a digital resume, and you have to mention everything that you have done. And I have been seeing a lot of recruitment forms which the companies float. All of them have an option to add your LinkedIn profile's URL, which means the companies nowadays are looking at your LinkedIn profile as well to see how active you are there, how updated your profile is, what are the kind of posts you have been reading, liking, or what are the kind of things you yourself have been writing. So this again is a very growing platform, and make sure your resume and your LinkedIn are in sync. And there is another venue or another style in which you can showcase your profile, which I will be telling in the end of the video. How to build a nice resume that surpasses the HR softwares, which are called the ATS softwares. A video on that is already available on my channel. A video on how to make an impressive LinkedIn profile is also available on my channel, so make sure you check them out. Now, I have also been saying this in all the other videos, like I aim at creating a balanced profile. So I don't have to be someone who is all about academics or who is all about, let's say, writing stuff or all about making apps or something. I have to create a balanced profile which is reflective of who I am as a person. Now, the various fields in which, or the various ways in which you can build your profile are these. Number one, your academic achievements. Number two, your work experience. Number three, your internships and projects. Number four, extracurricular achievements. Number five, positions of responsibility. And number six, certifications and skills. Starting with academic achievements. Now I'm not saying that you earlier in the video I said that you are what you are apart from your marks, that is something that is important. But if let's say there are people who have been scoring well, but if you are someone who stood in the top 3 rank in the college or school, then that is something which makes you stand out from the crowd. So mention that. Similarly, if you have been given or awarded some subject specific awards like topper in maths, best student in arts or computer science, make sure you mention those awards. A lot of these schools used to have Olympiads for maths, English and other streams. If you are someone who has been a winner of these Olympiads, mention about them in your academic achievements. Now, research paper or publication. Now, this is again something which you can venture out in your college or in your MBA college now. You meet a faculty. All the faculties in most colleges are people who have been working on their own research papers. And they always need someone to, help them with, let's say, primary research or secondary research, or tabulate the data for them, or, help them put everything in place. So if you are able to help that professor or faculty in managing all this, then make sure you avail this opportunity. Similarly, if you want to write your own research paper, then that is again a very big achievement for an MBA student. Make sure you contact your faculty and ask them on how you can write that. Similarly, you have your, entrance test scores for CAT, SNAP, and MATSAT, whatever. Your SATs, your IQ test scores, if any of these tests you have appeared for, make sure you mention them. And lastly, scholarships. Scholarships are again a great testament to the fact that you have been an outstanding student. Make sure you mention the amount of the scholarship as well. And let's say if you know that out of 100 students you were selected, so mention these kind of numbers as well. And this is a snapshot of what I write in my resume. So as you can see in the brackets, I mentioned that chairman's gold medal for being university all-rounder. For my class 10th and 12th, I always mentioned that I was a UP topper. Now coming to work experience. Now as you can see, this is a snapshot again of my resume. I was working as a business analyst in a company. I have made sure that I concisely, mention all of my KRAs in 4 to 5 points. I made sure to highlight that I took leadership or I started something new in the company. So if you have, look at the words which I have used: introduced, conceived, created, spearheaded. All these words indicate that I was responsible for strategizing and executing that activity. So the choice of words that you're writing in your resume is again very important. Quantify the impact of your role. Now, if you see in each of the statements that I am mentioning, I've also mentioned by how much I was able to have an impact. Example, in the first point, I did something which helped increase the sales by 15%. And you can always make use of formatting like bold the words or underline the important words which you feel should be highlighted. Now, coming to internships and projects. Most of the people who do MBA are engineers, and engineers have a lot of projects as part of the curriculum. So if you are someone who from that background and who has done a lot of these projects, you can mention them under projects undertaken. So the idea is to ensure that you have a full one-page resume and then there is no space left. So include all the important projects to fill the space on your resume. Then if you did any internship during your graduation college or even in your post-graduation college, that also adds value to your profile. And if you do not have any experience, then I insist, please do at least one internship before you start your MBA journey. Freelancing projects, they are a bit different from internship because these are timed or very deliverable specific. So let's say the company might give you a task to do some work in 4 hours or 5 hours or 1 week's time. You do that, you get the money, you get a certificate or a letter saying that you have completed that task, and that again you can add in your resume. Now, I always say that you should have a balanced profile. So your resume should not just be about the material things that you have been doing. Have 1 or 2 NGO related or social work related experiences as well. You can do an internship, look up the work on Internshala or Dare to Compete and make sure एक NGO में तुमने कुछ तो किया हो, and own business venture. So it happens that a lot of us have some B plans and we made some presentations, we attended some events, and for fundraising or for pitching them to like our idea and guide us on how we can execute that. If you've also done any such thing, then you can mention about this, and please mention about this in your resume, because now I'm saying this that which could not be continued, because in case the venture was a success and you actually built a company or an organization, then you should mention that in your work experience. But if it was just an idea through which won you, let's say, some competitions, or which was accepted by the college committee, college administration or something like that, then mention that under projects undertaken. Lastly, again, a very good CV pointer. So in case your resume is reaching only half page, you can include the curriculum projects that you are going to be doing in your MBA. All you need is the professor emailing that the following student, your name, roll number, whatever details you have, has been working on a project title XYZ with me from this duration to this duration, and the email should come from the official email ID of the professor, and that will serve as sufficient proof that you're working on a project. Coming to extracurriculars, so case study competitions and quizzes, a very easy and effective way to have CV pointers. Now when you're working on case study competitions, it means that you are working on creating strategies, you are planning, you are making a timeline, you're creating a budget, and that means that your brain works, your mind works in that direction. Similarly, if you're winning quizzes, then that means you're up to date with whatever is happening around the world. So try to make an account on Dare to Compete, participate in these competitions, and if you're able to come in the top 3, then that is best. Similarly, if you are someone who likes to, let's say, write, paint, perform music, whatever your hobby or passion is, you can participate in related competitions as well and get a nice certificate. So that will help to substantiate your hobby with a certificate, and that you can actually mention in your resume. A lot of schools and even colleges have these MUNs, debating competitions, spelling bees. Try to participate in that and try to win them so that you can write them in your resume. College representation in events, again a very important CV pointer. Sports related achievements, single event experience with NGO or other social cause. Now, if it is for a long term, then you have to mention that as an internship or a project undertaken. But if it is just one time volunteering activity that, if on 2nd October you went for a tree plantation drive, then that kind of things will come under extracurriculars. And like I said, if you are participating in any business plan competition and winning it, you can mention about that in extracurricular. And lastly, campus ambassador internships as well. So if you have done any such thing when you acted as representative of a company, then you can mention that in your resume. And lastly, now it's up to you if you want to include this in the co-curricular achievements or extracurricular achievements. In case your college format says co-curricular, then the exchange programs will come under the co-curricular heading. But I'm including this here because I haven't separately considered that. So a lot of colleges have tie-ups with international universities where they let you experience one semester abroad, and if you feel you can financially spend that much money and go there and study, then you can also avail this opportunity, because a very handful of people actually go for such programs, so it can give you an edge. Now coming to positions of responsibility in your college or school. If you have been member of any council or college committee, for example, I was Secretary Economic Society, SRCC, 2013 to 14. So this is an exact format in which you have to mention them in your resume as well. If you've been organizer of any event in college or at your workplace, if you've been organizer of an academic conference or research conference, if you have helped in raising sponsorship for any event, if you have been a research assistant to any college professor or editor of a college magazine or online blog of your college, then again these can be considered under positions of responsibility. Now coming to certifications and skills. Now certification is something for which you need to have a proof, because the name itself says it's a certificate. Whereas in skills, you might actually be possessing that skill, but you may be exploring that through internships or some other venue, but you need not have a proof for that. Now, my recommendation for all MBA students is go for certifications in Excel and PowerPoint. You should be knowing these two things. And in Excel also, go up to the intermediate level. One of these visualization tools you should be aware of. So either Tableau or Power BI, whichever you find easy to learn, you can learn that. A lot of people have, either mandatory foreign language courses in their colleges or school. If you are someone who has done this, then you can mention the certificate for that exam score, or or the attestation that you have been you have passed that exam for that language. That can also come under certifications. I have a very elaborate video on the specialization wise certifications which people can take up. Make sure you check that video out. Now under skills, you can write, I'm just giving an example, you can write video editing in Photoshop, leadership, coaching, typing speed, some website you made, some app you made, or if you know about that, or if you can make it, then you can mention that. And you can also mention your hobbies there. And I say that whatever skills you have, depending on the kind of role that you're applying for, you can customize it. So for example, if the JD says that they need someone who is well versed in English and Hindi or Tamil or some other language, then you can use the skills section to mention languages known: English, Hindi, XYZ. And very elaborately you can highlight the fact that this is something which is mentioned in JD and you already have it on your resume. Now coming to the X factor, a lot of people underestimate this. They feel that, okay, certification course kar liya, now I'm done, or I attended this particular conference and now I'm good to go. No, you have to constantly work on your profile, and you have been accustomed to hearing the word personal branding. So what exactly is personal branding? It basically means that you are someone who has the skills, but you also know a great way of making others aware of that skill that you have. And you do not have to wait for you to appear in personal interview, but there are other ways in which you can exhibit this particular quality, trait, or achievement, or skill you have through a lot of other ways. So now what are these other ways? I will be discussing it. Obviously, the purpose is stand out. Now content is the key. Read and read. You should be someone who knows what is happening in the field of your interest, as well as in the matters that affect you. So as an MBA, in your interviews you will be questioned on the current affairs. So make sure that you are enriching yourself with, let's say, current affairs, with industry reports, reading newspapers daily, reading your specialization specific blogs, and all these things. Now materialize your hobbies, and this is something which I also do. Let's say I have interest in painting. I have an Instagram account wherein I showcase collection of all my paintings which I have made till date. Even if you haven't done anything right now, you can start your account right away and have a collection of your paintings there. In the interview, when someone asks you about your hobbies or something that takes a load off your shoulders of the day's work, you can always show them that Instagram account with all your paintings. So just an example, but can definitely make you stand out. Post weekly on LinkedIn. So let's say if you have interest in the auto industry, and you are reading any article or any blog on that, and if you have an opinion, then present your own original views in form of 2 paragraphs only on LinkedIn. Don't bother about the likes you're getting, the shares you're getting, or whatever other metrics. Do it to keep your LinkedIn profile active. Other ways in which you can get yourself active on social media is writing on Quora, making your own website on WordPress, or making your own blog on blogger.com. Again, a very interesting way is you can create your own personal portfolio website. So if you check mine, so my website is www.s4shivani.com. If you go there, I have an entire page on my story. So interesting ways like this, you can create an impact in your interview. And if you know coding, then create a website or an app for a business idea that you have been thinking about or you have in mind. It basically just shows that, okay, you are an engineer, you have done some of the work, but you actually have a proof of your skills in a practical form. So go for this. And I want to leave you with this thought that you need to find a tagline for yourself, or a statement of, let's say, 5 to 6 words to show that what is it that you want to be known for. So make a 5 to 6 words personal brand statement for yourself, keep it to yourself, and build your entire profile around it. Thank you so much everyone for watching this video. I'm sure you found something useful to take out of it. In case I have not been able to answer any query that you had in your mind, feel free to mention that in the comment section and I'll make sure I reply within 24 hours. All the best for whatever venture you are about to go to build your profile, and I know you are going to rock it.